Hey guys, well, it's me, Jimmy Calandra. Obviously, I haven't been on in a while on YouTube. I do want to come back to YouTube. I keep on saying this. I just been so busy with my personal life, my kids, work, things like that. I know there's a lot of drama on YouTube, but I really do have a lot to say. I honestly have a lot to say. I see the stuff that's going on. There's some guys I do want to talk about. I want to talk about myself. I want to talk about my upbringing. I want to talk about a lot of things that are going on in the world. A lot of crazy stuff is going on. And, I see a guy like Mikey Scars, okay? This guy comes on and, he wants to knock Sammy. And don't get me wrong, look, I'm not defending Sammy. I'm not really a big Sammy fan. I'm really not. I visited Sammy. I had some fun with him. I stayed at his house for 5 days. The guy really is a funny guy. I know he's a stone cold killer. I know he cooperated. He was the underboss. But Mikey Scars wants to knock Sammy. Mikey Scars, you put away over 80 guys. So I don't even know how you got the balls to even talk about Sammy. Seriously. People could look at my life. They could tell all their lies and their fake stories. My story is I was a young kid growing up looking up to these guys. And I never wanted to be a wise guy. I never played the part of wanting to be a wise guy. You could look at all my photos with my family, my friends, anyone who truly knows me. They know who I am, what I'm about. I was a tough kid growing up. I got into a lot of trouble, committed a lot of crimes. I have a lot of regrets. I see a therapist once a month just to talk to her, to let things that, bother me, and it stays there. Because obviously you can't talk to anybody today because everyone is a washwoman. They just yap, yap, yap. They can't keep a secret. They can't keep a conversation to themselves. You can't talk to nobody in confidence. You can't even trust people today. But Mikey Scars, for example, this guy comes on. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the world. I mean, he should really tell the truth that, he looked at only 10 years on a plea deal. He was looking at 10 years on a plea deal. 10 years, maybe 12 years, let's say the most 15 years, okay? If they offered me 15 years, in all honesty, I would have took the 15 years, okay? My story is a lot different than a lot of other people's stories. Everyone has their own story, My story is Tommy Reynolds got me involved in killing a woman. They killed my friend, Paulie G, while I was away. And don't get me wrong, listen, Paulie G was not perfect. I know Paulie G was a killer. He was becoming a stone cold killer. There's a lot of things he did wrong in his life. He made a lot of wrong decisions, just like me. And for example, even when we used to do scores, we used to give Paulie G a couple of dollars in his pocket, instead of giving it to Joe Benanti or Sparrow. So I'm sure that made Joe Benanti mad. I'm sure that made Sparrow mad. Paulie G was the guy to kill. You get rid of Paulie G, okay, everyone moves up a notch. And, Joe Benanti is the wise guy. Anthony Sparrow is, the underboss, the boss of the family. Back then, things were a lot different. People were getting killed left and right. The 80s, the 90s. Now today, to become a wise guy, all you have to do is make a couple of dollars, I heard they're straightening out anybody today. And when I say straightening out, I mean made. They're making anybody today. If you got a couple of dollars coming in, most likely you could become a good fella, a wise guy in the mob. They'll make you. Because money talks, bullshit walks. That's 100%. The Lucchese family, they're straightening out a lot of guys. They're basically Avenue U, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Long Island. But I'm not here to talk about active guys. And I will talk about active guys later, but I'm not going to talk bad about them. I'm just going to call them what they are. And there's also a lot of tough guys on the street that are still out there. You know, a few of them that's still out there that I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to expose them, not in a bad way. I'm going to call you for what you are. I'm saying if you're a tough guy, if you beat up a woman, I'm going to let them know, whatever the case may be. You know, look, my life has changed drastically. I'm definitely not the person I used to be. Years ago, I could walk through walls and I really couldn't give a fuck. Now today, I got 2 kids. I gotta take care of them. I'm looking to be successful, and I have a lot of good people in my company. And there's a lot of garbage cans out there that, you know, try to be in my company, but I just ignore them. But getting back to Mikey Scars, you know, this is a guy who put 80 people away. He talks about Sammy, that Sammy's a liar. You know, Sammy killed all his friends. But Sammy, that's what that life is about. I mean, Michael, that's what that life is about. It's about treachery. It's about deceit. So, you know, most likely you got to kill your friend in that life sometime. You know, I'm not saying it's going on today, but most likely you got to kill your friend. That's how that life was. You know, today it's really watered down, the mafia. You have a lot of gangs today out there. You have the Albanians, the Mexican mafia. These guys, they're just fucking stupid. Those are guys you just got to shoot right in the face and just walk away. Some people you can't even talk to no more. You got to just fucking clip them. Okay? But the way the world is going today, as you know, it's nuts. You know, I am into politics. You know, I don't consider myself a Republican. I don't consider myself a Democrat. I'm more like an independent where I think on my own. I think the Republicans, in all honesty, I think they're a bunch of pussies. The Democrats, I think, have more balls than the Republicans. But I don't agree with the Democrats. Years ago when I was a kid, my parents grew up Democrats, but the Democrats stood for something different back then. They stood for God. They stood for family, working, you know, making your life better, things like that. Today they stand for garbage. You know, this transgender shit I'm really not into. You know, but, you know, that's for other people to, you know, if that's what you like, you know, but the world is going crazy. The world is on fire, you know. Everybody's going to war. There's a lot of hate out there. You have these people on YouTube where they're actually pointing fingers at other people. Meanwhile, you got to look at their story and see the things they did in their life. You got pedophiles on here that are knocking other people, and then you got other people calling other people rats, meanwhile they're rats. Another guy, Joey Merlino, like, you know, when Joey Merlino first came on, I kind of sort of maybe liked him a little. You know, you're a stand-up guy, you're coming on, I know you need the money, I know you're a brokester, 100% you're broke. Everyone tells me you're broke. People who know you tell me you're broke, okay? Actually, I used to talk to your brother-in-law, okay? The guy who had a baby with your sister, the kid Joey. And he's a good kid. I met him one time in Philadelphia with my friend Jimmy. But we know all about you, Joey Merlino. You're a brokester. You really never did nothing, okay? That position, as far as acting boss, was handed down to you. And you got balls to call anybody a rat, because you're the biggest rat there is. Okay, you're supposed to be a stand-up guy. You're on YouTube. Guys in the underworld do not go on YouTube. I'm not in the underworld. I cooperate with the government. I could do what I want. I'm my own man. I answer to nobody. I answer to God. That's it. Okay, I don't hand my money to nobody. I make my own money. But Joe Molino, you called Sonny Franzese a rat. Okay, maybe one day you're gonna run into a Colombo guy or a regular guy that liked Sonny Franzese, someone that did time with him. Maybe they're gonna tap you in the jaw someday. I don't know, but possibility. you know, but you ain't the boss no more. That's 100%. I know you're not in the mob no more, because if you were in the mob, you definitely would not be on YouTube. And guys like Manny Madonna. Manny Madonna, I knew pretty well. I think I, sit down with him at his house. I met his wife. I met his brother, Frank. I was good with these people. A guy like Manny Madonna would never, ever sit down with you or talk with you. This is a guy who believes in this life. He's doing life in prison. He believes in it. And you have a lot of guys out there that are doing life in prison that believe in this life. Another guy I really hate to mention is Mike DeSantis. Mike DeSantis, we all know he's the boss of the Lucchese family. It's no secret, okay? But what really is the Lucchese family? I'm saying, is it a bunch of guys that are made that they go out gambling? I don't know what the mob is about anymore. Nobody's killing anybody anymore. And believe me, you don't want to fuck with me. That's 100%, okay? I have a lot of law enforcement friends. And I'm at the point of my life, I'm going to be 55 this year. I don't care about nobody as far as these fake tough guys. Of course, I have no problem. I'll just leave it at that, okay? But Mike DeSantis would never, ever sit down with Joey Merlino, okay? Never. Anybody in the street wouldn't sit down with Joey Merlino no more. Joey Merlino went on Vlad TV, okay? That's a no-no in that life, okay? I don't care what you're talking about. You do not go on Vlad TV and talk about your life if you were anything in the street, okay? Obviously, I know you are not in the mob no more. That's 100%. And nobody would even accept you anymore. So that show that you have, the skinny, good luck with it. I think you'll be successful. As far as, I think you're rolling the dice. I know you're probably saying to yourself, listen, you know what do I have? I have nothing. I don't have no money. I have no income coming in. You got a little snuff where he probably reached out to you. Joe, let's do a show together. I'm telling you, make a couple of dollars. When I would start first doing YouTube, I was making good money. I was making really decent money. And I'm going to probably come back. I'm looking for a co-host, a female, a male, someone that has the time, someone with a brain, do a show every day. I want to do a show every day, eventually. But get into Mike DeSantis. Look, Mike DeSantis, in all honesty, great guy, and I know a lot of people are saying, I'm calling a wise guy great guy, but he's a decent guy. He really is. He's a decent guy, deserves the position, smart guy, money guy, a thinker, not just a reactor. And I liked him. I developed a friendship with him. His brother Frankie married my Aunt Carol, which, in all honesty, I don't even talk to them. I don't talk to these people, And growing up, let me tell you something. We were the envy of others. My family, my grandmother, my grandfather, my aunts, my uncles, we were the envy of others. Even though we struggled and we didn't have much, we all loved each other. We cared about each other. We would always go to my grandmother's house. Everyone would be there. Everyone would be getting kissed hello, hugged. We'd be eating nice meatballs and sausages and spaghetti with Italian bread, dipping tea with bread and butter. I mean, so many good memories of me growing up with my family. I love every one of my family members, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles. And I look back on those lives. I look back on those days, and it depresses me because I wish I could go back to that time, and obviously we can't. We can only go forward. But the memories were good. Frankie DeSantis, Michael's brother, he would go to these big restaurants. There was a restaurant on McDonald Avenue, I forgot, and Avenue U. He would go to Joe's, and he would get like maybe $200 on food, and we'd be sitting outside in front of my grandmother's house, and all the food would come. But those are the great memories I have with my family, and my mother, I miss her, of course. My father, I miss him. You know, my father worked the same job, 35 years, great guy, died of pancreatic cancer. My mother was a beautiful human being, a God-loving person. She taught me all about God, always tried to put me in the right direction, always told me, Jimmy, you can't serve two gods, meaning God up above and the wise guy on the street. And even the wise guys in my neighborhood, a guy like Joe Sis, I loved him. I love Joe Sis. You see him, he's sitting in front of the club. Every time I seen him, how you feeling? That's what he would tell me, how you feeling? You got money on you? You know what I mean? And he would stake me with a 20, a 50, 100 sometimes. And he was a big score guy. Beansy Campanella, another great guy. Loved him. Frankie DeChico, loved him. Growing up, I loved these guys. In all honesty, Frank Porco, great guy. I used to have conversations with him. Loved him. Sparrow, at one time, I loved him. I really did. Anthony Sparrow was a great guy. Sally Sparrow. But these guys, when I was a kid, were good kids. Now, growing up as a man, now that I have children, I look at them a little different, you know. John Gotti, we could talk about, you know, he died in prison. Stand-up guy. You know, it's hard to talk bad about a guy like that in that life. Did he kill a lot of people? Sure he did. Did he kill people he knew? Did he make a lot of bad decisions? Of course he did. But, you know, that's not for me to judge. But what I'm saying is that I have a lot to say. I want to talk about politics, what's going on in the world. I want to talk about what's going on in these public schools, okay? How the teachers are pushing transgender. The teachers are telling these young kids to act like a dog and a cat. I'm not even kidding, okay? And it's disgusting, okay? New York City has turned to shit, seriously. Eric Adams, he's a jerk-off, definitely a scumbag, okay? Just letting these migrants in. It's like years ago when my ancestors came here, you came through Ellis Island and you got documented, okay? And they found out who you are before they let you in. It's like going to somebody's house. If you come to my house, I want to know who you are. It's the same thing as when you come to this country. We want to know who you are. And the migrants, they took over Manhattan. It's disgusting. Hopefully Trump gets in. Listen, I'm not big on Trump, but I can't stand Biden. I think Biden's a fucking fool, a big jerk off. As soon as he came in, he shut the pipeline. As soon as he did that, I knew he was totally against America. I'm a patriot. I love my country, but I hate the fucking government. I really do. All they do is tax us on everything. They tax my fucking check. They tax you, buy something, that's tax. You buy this, everything's being taxed. You get gas, you're being taxed, tax. All they do is take our fucking money. You could only get by in New York City. New York City is a rat race. And there's a lot of things I want to touch on, you know. But this Mikey Scars, I do want to talk about him. You know, he said something about that, he called me a victim. Now listen, Mike, I ain't no victim. That's 100% I ain't no victim. I went to jail at the age of 23 years old, okay? I did 6 years in prison. I stood up, okay, kept my mouth shut, okay? I come home 11 months later, back in MDC, Brooklyn, okay? I see Fabrizio, Tommy Reynolds. I see Sally Avellino. I knew Sally from inside, great guy. And Sally Avellino, he said something to me. He said, Jimmy, he said, you're in this indictment with them? I said, yeah. He said, and we had the biggest case in the building at that time with Sparrow. He said, you know, they got 7 murders. I know. I said, you know, it's a mess, Sally, it's a mess. But what he told me was, and this is truth, and this is the reason why people hate me, because I don't lie, I tell the truth, 100%. He made a comment saying, Jimmy, this life is over. And when he said that, he looked at me in my eyes, and he knew this life was over. It could never, ever be the way it is. You can't trust nobody no more. You can't even talk about killing somebody because somebody's wearing a wire, and then after you kill somebody, somebody's gonna flip 100%. But the streets will never love you back. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know you missed my face coming on. I'm sorry about the other day. I was going to come on. I end up going out to dinner with a friend of mine. Then from there, I was tired. I went to sleep. But I do want to come back. I want to do more videos. I'm looking for a co-host. But I have a lot to say. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of things that are going on in this world. The mob, as far as the mob, listen, the mob is fucking basically done. I mean, they're going legit. They want legitimate guys that are making money, guys they could take money off of. And that's another thing. Look at a guy like Teddy Persico. Okay, let's just use him for example. Teddy Persico went to jail, young kid. Okay, came out of jail for a minute, then went back in. When you're in the street and in the mob and you're about anything, eventually you're going to be under installment plan. You're going to go in and out of jail, and that's going to be your life. So the message to all the kids out there for me is, listen, you know what? Listen to your parents. Get a 9-to-5, get a daytime job, get some kind of trade, go to school, do something with your life. Don't waste it away. I was watching The Prophet with Gregory Scarpa Jr. Now, this is a guy that been through fucking torture, through hell. Okay, I know some of his story. Him staying in the hole. He beat up another wise guy, Vic, because Vic called his father a rat or something, told him something like, oh, you stand around like you're somebody, meanwhile, and he tapped him in the jaw. But Gregory Scarpa been through fucking hell. Okay, he's so lucky and blessed in life to be out and be free. But he made a comment on The Prophet, and he said, you know what? My message is to all these guys out there that you think this life is so romanced, you think it's so good. I'm letting you know, eventually it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get worse. You're gonna spend your life in prison, and then the worst thing is, like me, I had to cooperate. I had to rat. Okay, something I didn't want to do. In all honesty, I never wanted to do it, but you know what? I did it because I knew there was only a couple ways out of this life. One of them was talking to the government. The other one was someone killing me or doing life in prison. I didn't want to go to jail and spend the rest of my life in prison. I'm worth so much more. I really am. I made the right decision. Anthony Sparrow, to me, was a garbage can. Anthony Sparrow was involved in killing Paulie Galino, Louis Tuzio, Joe Pizza, and the list goes on and on and on, believe me. And Joe Benanti, as much as I was a kid, I liked him. He turned out to be a garbage can too. But the guy died in jail, so did Sparrow, so you got to give them those props. I mean, they died with that code of that life, not talking to anybody. So that's why I tell you, Joey Merlino, you're the rat, okay? By you calling Sonny Franzese a rat, you're the rat. By you saying Chaz Palminteri, he's a rat lover, no, you're the rat. It has nothing to do with being a rat lover, okay? This is a time, a day and age where everything is accepted. Things are different. It ain't 30 years ago, 50 years ago, things were different. Now today, Chaz Palminteri, he's a great actor. He's a great human being. He has a great message. He does great things for people, okay? I appreciate him. And, just by you calling people a rat, look at yourself, Joey Merlino, because everyone's looking at you. You're the big time rat now, because you're the one who went on Vlad TV. You're the one with a podcast. You're not a stand-up guy no more, Joe Molino. Believe me, you're not. So I'm sure you'll hear it from other people too. wise guys in the street. The Genovese people never gonna sit down with you. Believe me. You got the guy Dom. You always talk about the guy Dom Crea. I know that's your guy who, you know, all that bullshit. That guy's a creepy motherfucker too. Kidding me? Another punk. Seriously. But this is my message to all the kids out there. Listen, don't do what I did. Well, actually, listen, you know what? My life is good. I lived a crazy life at one time, but I'm in such a better place. These guys can't shine my shoes now. Believe me, they couldn't shine my fucking shoes. Everyone have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the message. I know I went on and on and on, but listen, I am coming back. I'm going to be doing videos. Just give me some time. I love all you people who support me. Thank you so much for the great messages, the emails. And you can reach out to me at therealjimmycalandra@gmail.com. And everyone have a great Easter. I hope you're enjoying it with your family. Good Friday's coming. And I love you all. Everyone enjoy your day. And I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.